Okay, Dan, simplifying expressions, all right? This is number 9 and number 10 together, so I want you to look at them together. And what you have here are 3 plus I minus the quantity 7 plus 6I. The i's are imaginary numbers, as you probably know, but you treat them in the exact same way as variables in this aspect, in the multiplying, adding, subtracting, and dividing. When I put these together, here and here, for you to notice two things. They both have parentheses, right? There's 2 here, and there's 2 sets here. But in this one, there's an operation sign between the parentheses. So this is this set of parentheses minus this set of parentheses. There's no operation sign here. Therefore, this is multiplication. All right? So in this case, we do subtraction. In this case, we do multiplication. The key to this problem is this subtraction sign gets pushed all the way through. Don't be a superhero here. Make sure you just push that through and rewrite the whole thing. The first one stays exactly the same, 3 plus I. This becomes minus 7 and minus 6I. Now, we're done with the parentheses because we've applied the subtraction sign. They're really not necessary for the first part, but that doesn't matter. And now we just combine what are like terms. So in this case, we have a plus 1I and a minus 6I. Plus 1 of anything minus 6 of that same anything is minus 5I. We treat it just like we do a variable. It's the same idea. 3 and negative 7 the same way you've always done that. Negative 4 minus 5I is our final answer. There's no simplification from there. We can't combine these. There's no particular right or wrong order with how you write these, but you will probably see the number and the I after the fact. Okay? That's simplification. The parentheses are not that important except for the fact that if there's a minus sign here, you need to push it all the way through. If this were a plus sign, it doesn't really have any idea. You will not see a multiplication or division sign. It'll always be a minus or a plus. Over here, for number 10, we have just the parentheses together, which means we're multiplying this. So this becomes a FOIL situation. I need to multiply every value in these first parentheses by every value in the second parentheses. So this becomes 3 times 5, which is just 15. 3 times 2I, which is 3 times 2I is 6I. And then we do negative 4I times 5, which is negative 20I. And lastly, we do negative 4I times 2I, which is negative 8I squared. I times I is I squared. What this is in general is the FOIL method, first, outer, inner, last. And all that means is I multiply my first terms. There's no order here. Ignore this. Okay? My first terms right here, that's my F. My outer terms, that's this, is the outside terms. My inner terms, that's this, and my last term, that's this. That's my FOIL method. First, outer, inner, last. You've done that a bunch of times, I'm sure. It really just amounts to making sure everything in the first parentheses gets multiplied by everything in the second parentheses. All right, at this stage, I combine like terms. Well, I have a 6I and a minus 20I. Which comes out to minus 14I. I have a 15 and a minus 8I squared. Now, I, as you again probably know, is equal to the square root of negative 1. It's an imaginary number. Don't don't worry about why we have to have them. I squared is, when I squared the I, follow me in colors for you. Well, then I'm going to square the other side. So when I take I and I square it, I also take the other side and I square it. I squared, as we have over here, in this case, the square root of I squared, square root of negative 1 squared, is equal to negative 1. So that's what I squared looks like. You'll be able to couple these things, but in this case, this is what we're dealing with, the I squared. Therefore, this becomes negative 8 times negative 1. We have our 15 here. The order, again, doesn't matter. So we have our 15. We've combined our 6i and our minus 20i to get minus 14i. We have our negative 8 and I squared. We know I squared is equal to negative 1. Therefore, we simply change it. Now we have that, which is 8. Negative 1 times negative 8 is positive 8. 15 minus 14i plus 8. And our final step is 15 plus 8 is 23 minus 14i. That is a big problem. It's not a big problem, it's a long problem. So let's take a look at it again and let's see what we can do to simplify this a little bit. When she gives you this problem, it will be in the form of number with an I, number with an I multiplied together. Every single time. There's no doubt that's going to be the way she presents it. So in this case, I'm going to get 3 times 5, which is 15. I'm going to get 3 times some I, which is simple enough to get 6i. Negative 4i times 5 is negative 20i. So these first few steps are simple. Negative 4i times positive 2i is a negative 8i squared. Every single time you have an I squared, the only thing you need to do is change the sign of this number. Every single time you have an I squared. See all this I went through, this negative 1 and change? You change this immediately to positive 8 and combine like terms. Okay?